Well, because I don't know why I didn't bring the sunscreen because I knew we were going to go out in the pool thing. So I should have, but it doesn't matter. There's a tan line though. You see my tan line?
No, but it's okay.
It's like right there.
Okay.
Okay. There's a tan line.
So, yes. Hello. Welcome to the Music Lens podcast with me, Alex Allegra.
And Katie V.
And today is part 2 of the Bucket of Destiny songs that Katie and I thought of in our brain cells and put on a piece of paper, and we're like, ooh, we need to talk about them. Fancy schmancy.
Yay.
Watch part 1 now. Okay, cool. So, part 2. We haven't hit a lot of the big ones, so we have a lot to talk about.
Yes.
But first, we're recording this on 4th of July.
Hence the red, white. Well, my cowboy boots are the white, and they're downstairs. Yeah, but I have red and blue.
And last night, I thought Aunt was really excited about the fireworks because he kept looking out the window. So I was like, oh, we can go outside and look at... No, that traumatized him. And then I had to comfort him all night. He wouldn't leave our bed all night. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, Aunt. I honestly thought he was like... And my mom was like, no dog likes the fireworks. And I was like, I genuinely thought maybe he wanted to see them. But no, apparently not. So
he didn't like them.
He's very much held like our little shadows, me and my boyfriend's right now. So that's that.
Yeah, they just don't like loud noises.
Yeah, that's what freaked him out.
I feel like it'd be the same with thunder, right?
No, he doesn't mind that.
Okay.
But he was so much, like, it was fine inside, but then when he was outside, I was like, oh, it's, like, a lot louder, and I didn't realize that. So, my bad. Sorry, buddies.
See if he can, like, if he'd keep them on, have, like, little headphones to block his ears.
Probably wouldn't do that, but it's okay. We snuggled on the couch and watched House of the Dragon. It was fine.
Yeah.
I thought he'd be used to it. When he's home by himself, he watches The Sopranos. I thought he'd be used to the noises.
Okay.
But before we get into, I just wanted to... Well, Katie, do you have anything to say?
I don't think so.
Okay. I just didn't want to cut you off. But I want to bring up the fact that we talk a lot about various aspects of the industry that a lot of people don't see unless you're living it or you're friends with somebody who's like in it. And even then, you kind of don't completely understand it. I mean, even my boyfriend doesn't completely understand every ups and downs of the industry. Like, even I tell him a lot, but it's still hard to grasp unless you're living it and trying and experimenting with all these things. And I just want to bring up the fact that Kaylee Shore has started her on her Instagram channel talking about how we talked about last week how I feel like some artists have these like very like high points and low points so drastically, and she's talking about her kind of rise and then how quickly it fell with little things that happen. And so I think it's really interesting, and I think it's brave of her to talk about. I love that. I think that was our biggest thing was sometimes we sit here on this couch and we talk and we're so confident in what we're saying then, and then I go back and edit and I'm like, is this going to piss off people? Yeah. And while we were totally comfortable with that in theory and practice, it's a lot harder to actually hit that publish button sometimes and say without any filter, like, this is the cold, hard truth, and, like, fuck you guys in the industry sometimes. And, I mean, we think we're going to piss off people. Maybe we will do that, but also, like, are executives even caring? Probably not. You know, they're probably just thinking to themselves, well, I made it, so it doesn't really matter what these little independent artists are saying. Or we're really hurting our chances at ever getting signed. But also, isn't that kind of the point of stuff like this? Like, you don't get famous without having these big bulldozer moments of like barreling in through and making controversy. So you know, just some thoughts. But I mean, we stand by the things that we say. Obviously, I wouldn't put something out that we weren't 100% behind,
right?
But again, it is scary. So I applaud her for giving a full story that is completely true and honest, and being brave enough to do that. And find it inspirational and just educational too, to really show people, because I always wondered what happened to her too.
Right.
Like she was, when we had first gotten into town, she had her first EP go out. Fight Like a Girl was big on country radio. She was the leader of Song Suffragettes. She was in town. She was like when she said she was like a CB artist in the country area, that was when we knew her around town. And then COVID happened, and I remember Amy getting huge, and then she moved out to LA.
Right.
And then I was like, oh, she's changing genres, and I didn't really know what happened after that. And so it was always interesting how we even watched and, like, knew friends that knew her kind of thing, and kind of knew a little bit of pieces. But, like, seeing her just share her whole story has just been very inspirational, I think, for artists and just people that have followed an artist's career like that, and then you wonder what happens. I mean, we were talking with one of our friends the other day about Bailey Bryan, and how she had that same thing kind of happen too. I don't know what happened with her. I haven't
looked her up to see where she's at now, but
she was signed to Warner, and then I remember and maybe the boyfriend has nothing to do with it. It probably doesn't, but I know she dated a rapper, and then she moved out to LA with him, and then she changed genres, and then she kind of fell off too. So I always thought it was maybe genre changes or things like that. Or, you know, another example we were talking about last week with, like, things like X Factor, and I would love to have my friend Kate Cosentino, who was on The Voice. And I think of Casty Pope, who was on The Voice and had a big success in country, and then
now
things
she's
happened,
going back
and
to
now
like
she's going back to punk
pop,
and but she also has had ups and downs in her career so much too. So it's just a very interesting path, and I think a lot of people kind of understand, especially more recently, of the viral moments and how hard it is to keep that. And I think you see that a lot, but just really knowing that it's not always in their control, or it's not always up to just, oh, they just didn't have another viral hit. It's like there are a lot of things working behind the scenes that people don't understand and see, and that was really the point of this podcast, was kind of to expose that side of it and say, like, hey, there's a lot of shit behind the scenes, and it's not always what you think. So
you don't always think about the behind the scenes parts. You just, whatever is put to public eye, and not thinking of, like, what goes into it.
And that's why it's really tough, I think, when I started learning about the business, when people started speculating, and I'm going to use Taylor Swift as, like, a big example of, like, everyone always speculates her relationships or PR stunts that she does and all this stuff, and it's like, seeing it from another angle of being on the industry side, it's really never what you actually think it is. So it starts to get frustrating and exhausting for me when I'm, like, trying to be Swiftie and be like, I think I figured out what all this stuff means. It's like, you really don't know what's going on. So, like, stop trying to speculate, because it gets frustrating for everyone, I think, involved. And so, that's just my 2 piece about it.
Yeah. It's like, I'm up to part 4. Has Kaylee posted any more, or is it just up to part 4? Okay. Gotcha. I think she said she's trying to post them faster now. I don't know how many parts this is gonna add up to, but I think she said she's gonna try and get them out faster because of the response and people wanting to get the whole story. So
she posted on her story today, at the time that we're recording this, that she was like, part 5 is going to be the end of me. So she's obviously struggling with it a little bit. I don't know if that's because this is like the shit hits the fan kind of moment, so it's hard for her to open up about it.
Well, towards the end of 4, I think she said something about there's someone at her label, and she's going to try and, like, talk about it in a diplomatic kind of way.
Yeah, that was like, I want to know what the juicy part about it
cliffhanger.
Is. So, if you want to get an idea of why we started this podcast, go listen to that, I think. Because it was a bunch of that kind of stuff, and hearing a bunch of stuff behind the scenes. And so, do you want to start this time, since I started time?
Ooh, we're starting with the sad one. Champagne and Sushi by Emily Weiss Band.
Oh, that was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
If you don't know the song, you should go listen to it. If you don't know who Emily Reisband is,
listen to it in a place you feel safe to cry in.
She was a writer. She went to Belmont. We saw a bunch of combos of her. It was amazing. I love her work. I've always wanted to be mentored by her because she writes some of my favorite songs, including Camila Cabello's Consequences, which just wrecks at my heart. But this was about her trials and tribulations of getting pregnant and
miscarriage,
having a family and having a miscarriage, and heart-wrenching.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think of like specific lyrics. I guess with the hook, it's the idea of like when you're pregnant, you can't have champagne and sushi, and just like now you can because you are no longer pregnant. And
like that. Well, I don't really want all the things I can because I'd rather be pregnant. Kind of thing. And so it was definitely, and I've never even experienced something like that, but I could relate to just like the hurt that she was feeling. Like that's how good the song was. And I think she is a songwriter that is so good at creating that hurt, whether or not you've experienced something exactly
have
like
the listener go into the mind of the perspective of the song.
But she's so good with that detail that it's just like it's so easy.
It just really puts you right in the situation.
Exactly. So, love her.
Yes. Okay. I don't know where we're putting these.
It's confetti now.
It's confetti.
I had some help. Didn't think. By Posty and Morgan. Okay, so I obviously am in love with Post Malone. I've heard he's a fantastic guy. One of my friends is friends and like in his group of people that she works for him and says how much of just like a genuine person he is.
He
love him so much.
Is such a positive person, and he like with this, I think he said he's been wanting to do country music for a while.
It doesn't surprise me because that's how he grew up learning guitar, so it did not surprise me one bit.
So he's been coming to Nashville a lot within like I guess the last year or so.
Yeah, apparently he's just
to be writing songs
a lot lately, and you can just meet him on the street. So,
but it's like I really appreciate the respect he has for country music in making this. He's not like trying to do it just to like follow a trend or anything like that. He's really like respectful of the genre, and he has like a whole like a wide range, I would say, of like that one is very like modern country, but there was a song that he played on the ACMs before he played that one, and it was more like traditional country leaning. So
yeah, well, it really also didn't surprise me because the album before his one that he's about to release, I think it's called Austin, and this new one's called F1 Trillion. So the first one, it was still his pop music, but it was like slow ballads almost leaning towards country. And now he just said full on like, fuck it, we're doing country. And again, it really doesn't surprise me. He's from Texas. But what's fun about this, I don't know, he has such a way of making generics, like, if you really break down the lyrics, they're not anything groundbreaking. They're generic songs, which also, when I saw him live at Bonnaroo, he was like, I'm here to sing some shitty songs to you people. Like, he knows he's not the best songwriter on earth, but for some reason, he still makes it so fun, and you want to listen to the song 100,000 times, and I don't get how he does it.
The Blake Shelton duet's a good one, too, but it's also generic, but it's still, like, a fun song.
I don't get it. He has such a way of making just, like, it's probably the beats of it. He just has like such a way of making really catchy earwormy songs.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about it, but I mean I've also just loved Post Malone since his first album. So like I've always been
it's
a
also
huge Post Malone fan.
At the ACMs when they introduced him, I think they said it's like one of maybe 2 songs in the history of radio that like got added to like every single station the week it was released to radio. So
it was also like I don't even mind that Morgan Wallen's on it. Like
he doesn't need to be though.
Fun. It's just such a great song.
Because he played it without him on the ACMs. And like, he doesn't need to be on this song.
And I really
Post Malone can hold his own.
But I know it's gonna be all country, and I'm like, do I want to go see it? Because I also love his older stuff too. So I'm like, am I not gonna hear any of his like actual music? And so I'm like torn. Would you go see it with me?
Yeah.
Okay, I had pre-sale tickets. I should have bought tickets. I might still go buy tickets.
Nashville?
Yeah.
Okay.
In October.
Okay.
It's like 3 days on what after. It is. It's like
I might be going. I don't know if I'm going to the Songwriter Festival in Deadwood or not.
I think it's the 19th.
What's the festival?
Oh.
I don't know.
Because Sabrina Carpenter's like a couple days before him, too. And I was like, I want to see both of them.
Too many shows.
At Nissan.
And Nissan. Oh, okay. That would make sense.
Selling out Nissan. Yeah. I was like, damn, boy. But it's just, I know it's going to be such a fun concert, too, so I really want to go. I'm excited for his new album. I don't know how he does it because it's so generic, and I get on people sometimes for just making generic sounding country songs. Like there's another album or two on here that I will talk about. But the other day, me and my boyfriend were listening to when Justin Timberlake went country and how his was a flop, and so people are like, well, he should have made it now when
what was the
it was
one
like
song?
a trend. But Say Something with Chris Stapleton.
Oh no. There, because he did Drink You Away on the CMAs with him, but then there was like another song I think that was on.
Whiskey, but...
No, there's like another song of Justin's on country radio.
Yeah,
but I don't remember what it was. No,
it wasn't that one.
There was one where it's just him.
Just him. Oh.
So,
well, he has a couple, like I said, it was called Man of the Woods is the album.
Okay.
So it's one of those ones. But we were listening to it the other day. But again, there is such a way that Post Malone's, especially because he was kind of going towards it anyways, I think, it doesn't sound like he was doing it because a whole bunch of people were making country songs. Because obviously we had, like, Beyonce and somebody else is doing it now, too. I can't think of off the top of my head. And then him, obviously. And Miley Cyrus was kind of... Lana Del Rey is about to do one. But I don't know. It feels so natural to
he did like a natural transition into it then. It's kind of like, I don't know. I think of the opposite of like Taylor was a natural transition into pop because of how it kind of like gradually went over.
Yeah.
Versus like the band Perry tried to go pop and it was not a natural transition because it kind of was just like, it was country and then all of a sudden it was pop with no like transition over to it, and it didn't really work because of that, I think.
Unless you have a huge fan base and like you have a actual like strong, without a doubt that this is going to do something, it won't work when you just randomly change genres like that. Like kind of like how Eric Church did the whole gospel thing at stage there, like Stagecoach. Like maybe it was something like that had people thrown off a little bit, was just because it was so different. But yeah, we could go on and on about talking about Post Malone, honestly.
I guess we should
keep
going. Sad Girl Summer, Maddie and Tay.
Have
you heard this one yet? No. I didn't know what to expect off the title before listening. I thought maybe it would be like a sad ballad, but no, it's like This Ain't No Sad Girl Summer. So it's like a fun like party summer song.
Okay, here's the thing I love about Maddie and Tay is that originally they did do a lot of those tongue-in-cheek kind of songs, and like they do a lot of the title of the song is not actually what the song's about, but it's come to a point now where it's just like you're just saying it to just say the opposite, and it's kind of getting old, and I'm not a huge fan of it at this point. I feel like want to love vibe-wise Tay, but
is I think someone commented on a TikTok that it's like Bathroom Floor's sister.
I loved Bathroom Floor. That was
it's like song. Same vibes.
Okay.
So yeah. It's great.
I want them to have a big song again. I don't know why they haven't stuck, and B.
But they have a fan base because they're still doing tours and stuff. Like Anna Voss is opening for them right now. So I know they're doing tours, but who was it? Is it Tay or Maddie just announced they're pregnant?
Tay again.
Tay.
Her second. Yeah. Her boy now.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's nice. I don't know. That was just a random thing that I remembered. I'm like, yeah.
I did see that. That's how they came back up on my timeline. So that's another one that just had a lot of ups and downs because everyone loved.
They had like
a girl in a country song, but then they didn't want that to be like their whole shtick in the industry, and then that kind of caused a lot of conflict, I think, with their writing teams.
I think they had that, and then Fly and Shut Up and Fish. And then after that, it kind of just like they went away for a while, and it took them a while to get back. And I think Die From a Broken Heart is probably what brought them back.
That's right. That was such a good song. I think they just need to change up their sound a little bit. It's just getting a little like repetitive, I think. I think we need to just mix it up a little bit more.
Maybe, It's like switch producers or something. I haven't looked at credits to know if it is the same producer every time, but
I think they need something, like, completely different than anything else they've done. And, like, that'll put them back, like, up a little bit.
Okay. There's that one song that I liked when we saw them at CMA Fest in 2018 when we went. Something about a bone. It was something about a dog, or like new dog, old tricks, or something like that.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I don't know. I remember liking the writing of that one, and that felt different for some reason.
Yeah. So I think it's in them. I just think we need to like shake it out of them a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
Bum ba bum. Coming Home, Usher. I really didn't write well. Oh, it went back in the bucket. No. Nope.
We can always pull it back. If we pull that one again, then we know we've done it.
I don't know where it went.
How did that not land on top?
Okay, well, anywho.
It's fine.
I, again, kind of threw this. I love this album, honestly, but I don't know. Are we loving Usher? Are we not liking Usher right now? What's the deal with him and P. Diddy? Did he do some weird shit back in the day? I don't know right now.
I haven't heard anything, honestly.
I watched a whole documentary on the whole P. Diddy thing.
Super Bowl.
Amazing Super. I know we talked about this, but amazing Super Bowl performance. Still love it. I am in love with this album. It's a weird cover. I've already said that. I think I've talked about this album a little bit, actually, because it has some good singles on it.
Okay.
I love his A-Town Girl, which is Billy Joel's Uptown Girl, but she's from Atlanta, so it's an A-Town Girl, and he redid it. I honestly love it. It's a fun
My brain just went to Peace Up, A-Town. I don't know how that started, but Aaron Schilp does that at the end of rounds now.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm just like, how did this start? And why are you still doing it? It's so funny, but...
I think it's because of his name.
Oh.
Aaron.
Okay.
A-A.
Yeah.
A-Town.
A-A wrong.
Yeah. But it's just a fun... Some of the songs are interesting. I love some of them, though. I love A-Town Girl. I like Coming Home, the single off... Or the title track. Like that one a lot. He has a song with one of the K-pop group boys. I don't know who he is. I don't listen to K-pop, but it's a fun album. Just a fun album. You need a fun summer driving album? Throw on a little Usher. Remember, it's it's very reminiscent of old Usher.
Okay.
It's, fun dance party music. I want to do a hip hop song to hip hop class dance song to it. That kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Just fun.
Okay.
Keep it on your radar.
Watch me pull out the one.
I know. Oh my god! Throw it away. Okay. How?
You took so long trying to find it too. Hang Tight Honey, Lainey Wilson, which I literally just watched the music video this morning because it came out for it. Oh. It's off of her album that's coming out in August. Oh. Her album's called Whirlwind, and I think it's just because her life is a whirlwind right now with all the stuff that's happening.
Second album?
It's third in my mind, but I want to say I saw somewhere it said fifth, and I'm like, where are these two other albums? Because I know Bell Bottom Country and Saying What I'm Thinking, and so I think it's third, but maybe there's like other ones before Saying What I'm Thinking that aren't on Spotify or something.
Like,
maybe.
Because, if you ever notice, sometimes artists have all these songs out and then they get signed to a record label and then magically all their songs are gone. It's because the record labels want to own them, so they'll either re-release them or you just trash all your old music and you
like, I think of like Hannah Ellis. She put out... Shoot, what's the title? It's like... It's I Got a Home and I Got a Hometown is like the hook, but I can't think of within that phrase what the actual title is. But that was out years ago, and then she re-released it leading up to her album. So I was like, wait a minute, like this was already a single years ago, and they just like remastered it, revamped it or whatever, and put it out
again. And so the record labels can own them or give it an actual chance to do like a full single run with like big budget money. So
because This one, I don't know if I still have it in my pile of like maybe I'll put it out at some point, but Hometown Pride was literally like, I want a song like that, so we're gonna write inspired by that song. So I'm like, it's been out, or that was out a long time ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hang Tight Honey is very fun. If you watched her ACM performance, she's like doing choreo now and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The video that I watched this morning, it was like, I want to say it started with like very 60s performance and outfit and stuff, and then transitioned into 70s, which is like 70s is very much her vibe, obviously bell bottoms and stuff. So it's a fun music video and a fun song, very rockin' country kind of thing. There was a funny video that she posted before like the song was out.
Level of rock, or
yeah, I guess. Okay. But there's a video that she posted before the song came out, and it was like her writing a letter to her dog Hippie of like, hang tight honey, I'm coming home to you kind of thing, and it was just the lyrics to the song, but it was cute. I liked it. But yeah, it's a fun song. I need to learn it for playing for cover gigs because it's like everywhere now.
Really?
So yeah, that's it. Shoo.
This might
start
be
doing shorter ones.
Quarter Life Crisis, Haley Kearns.
Yeah, EP came out recently, like it was in June. There's a lot of fun songs on it, of like homemade margaritas and stuff. That one's a fun one.
Okay.
But then there's also High School Friends is on there, and that one's about like going back for like a high school reunion, and like they're thinking, oh, like you're doing all these awesome things in Nashville, like following your dreams and stuff, but in reality, like it kind of talks about like the experience that I guess we have to, or can relate to of like in high school. I think you think you're gonna move to Nashville and become big right away, and it's not.
You're gonna make me cry just because I think about this all the time. I'm like, I'm 25 and I can't show up people I wanted to show up in high school.
Yeah. But I think it's like they kind of still think that you're doing all these big things, but really it's not the way it is.
I don't know what people's in your perception of me back home is. Like, are they like, holy shit, she's doing it? Or are they thinking like I am, and they're like, oh my god, she didn't actually follow her dreams like she said she was going to. Ha ha ha.
Yeah. Because I think of like, I went on a tour kind of thing, and back home they're like, oh, that's great. But in my mind, I'm like, it's just like playing little shows. It's not like big shows, but it still is a tour. So they sometimes like see it.
You have to hype yourself outside up and give yourself the labels, but it's also tough because I don't want to be hypocritical. Because back home, I hated when people would say Nashville recording artist, because that doesn't mean anything. That just means you paid to come down to Nashville and record a song in Nashville. That doesn't mean you're signed to anything. Yeah. You had anything special happen to you. Or like
CMA member. You pay to be a CMA member.
CMA member. It doesn't actually mean anything, and I used to hate when people do that. But then I got to a point where I was just trying to get some recognition and some, like, beef behind my name. Yeah. And I started saying stuff like that, and all of a sudden the people that didn't want to hire me last year want to book me for gigs this year. Mm-hmm. And it's very frustrating because it's like...
And I think it's, like, on the outside, it's like... they think it's like really cool that you're like putting out music and things like that, but then like on the inside in Nashville, it's like, well, everyone else is doing it. It doesn't feel like it's a special thing.
It's so hard to talk
and
to
I think it's also
in Nashville, and you're like, oh, I have all these cool things, after you just came back home and they were like, wow, you have all these cool things, and then you come to Nashville and they're like so trying to impress people, and it's like, okay, cool. But they don't like get excited because it's like, oh, well, I just put out 10 singles and I'm going on an actual tour and I'm opening for this person. Like,
I also had that thought of like playing in Nashville versus playing outside of Nashville, and maybe that's another reason for the like pay differences in a way of like the value of music is lesser here 100%. Because you can go anywhere for music. So like even tourists, like, I don't think they appreciate it as much because it's just everywhere versus, like, back home.
They do notice if it's not there. That's the thing.
They do notice if it's not there because they will leave if there's no music, live music. But there's people, like, when I went back home, they're, like, so appreciative for the music, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it feels nice to be appreciated, because there's times in Nashville where you're playing downtown, and there's people, but they don't even bother to, like, clap or anything at the end of songs, which, honestly, you don't have to clap at the end of every song, but it would be nice occasionally to hear some, to be like, okay, you are acknowledging my existence, thank you. I'm not invisible.
Why I wanted to book shows outside of Nashville this summer, and I just missed the deadlines for them, but it was just like, I just wanted to feel like I was making the effort of creating a fan base and building something instead of just feeling like I'm playing this because I need some money to put out a project, and it just, it feels very repetitive around here, so. Yeah.
But, yeah. That was a long tangent off of that song, but it's a really good song, and the album's really good too.
Sequencing
or EP.
And talking points than we did last time, because I don't know if it's because of the heat.
It's also kind of like...
But we, didn't really have a lot to talk about last time. We were just like, that was good. This was a good song. This was a good album. Yeah. And now we're, actually making points about why we put them on this list. Yes. This might be a part 3 and part 4,
That's honestly. Why I'm, kind of grabbing for the bucket. I'm like, maybe we need to start moving, because there's a lot in here. Rockstar by Hardy.
Because we all just want to be big rock stars.
Not that one, but it is referenced.
It is referencing that.
They did a Crossroads. This year. Yeah, I guess it did, because I had to look through what was this year's stuff. But Nickelback and Hardy did a CMT Crossroads together, and so they did both rock stars back to back.
Honestly, it's a great song. I love that it references the song. I don't know why country music has Nickelback as their main artist at the moment.
I know, they're playing Country Thunder in Wisconsin in a couple weeks.
I love
it. But yeah, it's everyone has a song called Rockstar. So I wrote one
Post
too.
Malone has a song called Rockstar.
And they say Nickelback kicking it.
has a song called Rockstar.
But yeah, they were Nickelback kicking it is in there. So I love that they connected that, and then they're we're gonna do a Crossroads with these two people. But it's such a fun song.
It really is. Hardy is so good.
And I just
Hardy is the pinnacle of what I want country music to be, honestly.
And it was a little, I guess, jarring the first time I heard him do his country crossover to metal, of how it will just transition mid song. But now I'm I actually like this. It does transition really well.
Yeah. But he's got that roughness in him. Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Matchmaker, Aaron Kinsey. I don't know this song.
Okay. Aaron Kinsey's been putting out a lot of songs, I feel like, but I think that's the one I've seen the most on TikTok, and it's
Is Aaron blonde?
Yes. We saw her at CMA Fest last year because I think she played before Tiger Lily or something.
I think she also played Song Suffragettes when I interned with them.
Okay. I want to say she played Tour Stop Last Call at not Bus Call at Belcourt.
Oh, okay.
But I wanted to see her, but I think it just didn't work timing wise to go to it. But yeah, I remember the song being on TikTok a lot, and it's her ex-best friend and ex-boyfriend got together, and it's
so it's
matchmaker. Oh, sure. Yeah.
Speaking of.
But matchmaker of as if she's the one who set them up, because that's the only reason they knew each other.
I love that. That's fun. Okay.
But yeah, it's just a fun song. She's been putting out a lot of fun things lately.
Aaron's a good songwriter. Yeah. She definitely does what was the one song?
I liked Vegas, which I think came out last year because we heard her play it in her set. That one's probably one of my favorites because it's just, I don't know, there's fun rhyme scheme stuff going on in that one. Yeah. I'm I wouldn't think to rhyme that, but it works really well. But
yeah, she's a fun writer. I like it.
All right.
Is it my turn? Yes.
No, it's not. We're gonna have this issue again where I forget who's going. I can't read your handwriting. It's Kendrick Lamar, but
Not Like Us, Kendrick Lamar, which is his beef song with Drake when he says certified lover boy, certified pedophile.
Oh. Okay.
So basically this whole song is just Kendrick calling out Drake and saying he's a pedophile.
Okay.
But it's a fun dance song.
Okay. Sure.
My favorite line in it is probably hit a chord and gonna hit a chord and it's probably A minor.
Oh, fun.
Like, that's so clever. I love
Just
it.
a music nerd thing. But
It is, but it's also like...
It's like the, like Hallelujah, where they, like, have the chords in it. The fourth, the fifth. Leonard Cohen.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's just, like, I don't know, something music nerds appreciate.
I love it. It's just fun. I don't know what's going to become of the Kendrick-Drake feud, but it is interesting to watch and listen to the music that Kendrick puts out about it. So,
yeah.
That's all.
Okay. I remember this time. You pull.
Bluebird, Carter Faith, and Alison Krauss. So Carter just got signed not too long ago.
Yes.
Is this her first single with being signed?
I guess so. But I love it's Bluebird with a space. So blue space bird. And not Bluebird, but it's like I honestly don't remember most of it. The only thing that I can remember is like it's like blue bird of I might need to look up the line.
That's fine.
I need your phone. Because mine is the camera. I remember liking the hook and liking the song overall, but I'm blanking right now of why the blue space bird is important.
Is he why you're blue bird is the like last hook. So
yeah.
Is he why you're blue? Is he the why you sing the way you do? Is he your stormy sky, your midnight blues? Is it true? Is he why you hate to fly? Is he why you love to hurt? Is he why you're blue bird?
Okay. Yeah. So it is a bird, and I guess a blue bird, but it's like...
But
it's a...
like sad and that emotional feeling of
the
blue. Yeah. That's sweet. Yeah. I like that. That's a different take. I always love those types of songs where it's like the obvious is staring you right in the face and then you're like, why didn't I think of that? So I'm always looking to like reinvent phrases of sorts and like look at just what's playing in front of you. Autumn Bicey's really good at that too.
Yeah.
A songwriter in town here who also went to Belmont. But I'd love to have her on this podcast at some point. I'm sure she would talk some mad shit.
She has a lot of Instagram captions type posts of like thoughts of the industry and things like that. And
I want to write
really
with
good.
her because she does sometimes on her stories like rhymes that I will never use, and I wrote a song using one of them at one point. So I was like, I really love those.
Yeah. I got lunch with her one day. I think I had reached out about writing and said like, let's get lunch first or something. And then through conversation in that lunch, she mentioned how she's like found her people and has like a set people.
Oh yeah.
And doesn't really write with new people. And that wasn't like directly like, hey, no, we're not writing. It was just like in conversation. And then that made me think like, okay, we're just not gonna write, but that's fine. I'm still like enjoy getting lunch with her and so it didn't lead to a co-write, which is totally fine. Like, I guess she just has her group of people, which is
and now
fair.
She's signed, so now she writes for like every big person in town. So it's like, but yeah, I just like her writing a lot.
Yeah,
so.
for sure. Okay. Cowboys Cry to Kelsey Ballerini and Noah Kahan that just came out.
I had a lot of thoughts about this morning. I don't know why I was thinking about it this morning, but is it really a love song? Like, everyone was like, oh my god, Kelsey's singing a love song for once, but like, which my thing with love songs is, and even though I said I don't really care for full albums of love songs, I do like a love song, don't get me wrong. I think people that don't like love songs have not found the love that makes them want to sing any love song and relate to said love song at some point in their life, because I go through phases where I like like love songs and don't like love songs, but it's also like I'm not like anti-love songs.
Yeah.
That's my theory thinking of it. Maybe I'm completely wrong. I'm not a feelings person either. I hated being like, oh, I like this love song. Like, I hated it too. But my theory thinking is then you haven't found somebody. So I think Kelsey is also, now she started to get into her groove of like, it just sounds like a Kelsey Ballerini song.
Yeah,
and
she's really found her sound.
Even though I really like a lot of like the funner type songs with it, like, How Do I Do This? We all were like, oh, that's probably the sound that she's gonna go. I really loved how Rolling Up the Welcome Mat was completely different than anything she's ever put out, and I was kind of hoping we'd get more like completely different sounds. This song just sounds like another Kelsey Ballerini song, which is good and bad. I don't think it's gonna kill her career at all by any means. Like, I think it's gonna be a good song for her. It's not my cup of tea.
Okay. I was just wondering when we would get new Kelsey, because when she re-signed her deal with her label, they're like second quarter, and June is the end of the second quarter, so she really just got it in there right at the end before it became third quarter. But
well, we're getting an album soon, obviously, because she keeps talking about
she's very open about like the fact that she's finished writing it and they're working on it and stuff. I'm assuming probably fall, but they also said something about like
a single or two, and then we'll get it next year, but
that's
early
possible
next year,
too.
because I think the fall, as far as like have an announcement for it, is too late.
Okay, yeah, maybe,
unless it's just going to be a quick turnaround.
Yeah,
but it's normally like a 3-month window.
That's
of it,
true,
and the 3-month window would be now to get it out by October, unless she
says something soon. Yeah. But they also said how she wants to like go into other areas of entertainment, and she's going to be a coach on The Voice, so I'm wondering if that's what that was about.
I hope so. I think she is going to go into acting in some sort, and I'm going to keep my opinions about that secret.
Okay. Sure. All right. Next.
Probably one more each.
Yeah, I would say so.
Honestly, there's probably just enough for like another. We'll see. There's definitely enough for another episode. Whether there's more,
there's one. There's like one in here that I know we're gonna talk a lot about, so that should be saved for the next episode.
Ain't No Love in Oklahoma, Luke Combs' Twister soundtrack.
I kind of put two together on this one.
Out of Oklahoma for Lainey Wilson.
Yeah, just kind of like those were the two that I listened to off the soundtrack. I think Twisters comes out tomorrow, actually, as of we're recording this. I want to say the TikTok ad that's like when you open TikTok right now is saying it comes out tomorrow.
Okay, can I say it for a second? TikTok ads are getting really, really annoying. It's like every other TikTok is a TikTok ad for me right now. And it's the stupid casino
of the shops.
Ones. No, it's the casino.
Oh, it's the
ones.
solitaire.
Yes. So I went into TikTok and went into security and hit ads and started blocking them.
Okay.
But they repopulate as different things. And then they won't stay. And I'm like, TikTok, I don't know what's up with you, but like I need all these ads to like knock it off, because it's every other TikTok and I hate it.
I just get so many TikTok shop things where like people are just promoting TikTok shop items, and
that's
I'm
also
like,
stupid. I'm not gonna buy
really need anything else. But yeah, I'm
gonna go to Amazon. You say TikTok shop, I'm saying Amazon. It's here by tomorrow. TikTok doesn't need any of my information. It's the same thing.
Although it was pretty quick shipping for the microphones that I bought. I'm
going to Amazon.
Okay. But yeah, the Twisters movie is like all country artists for the soundtrack. Okay. And I really like the Luke Combs song. It's like more rock country type vibes, which I love with his voice. And then did you throw it already?
Yeah.
What was it? Out of Oklahoma or something for Lainey. That one's just, I don't know. I really love the melody of that one. It's a ballad, but it's really pretty melody wise and stuff. But I think this whole album is going to be
go see the Twister movie.
One.
I'm not going to lie, because it's just a remake, and I don't really care for the first one.
I never saw the first one, so
I saw bits of it. It wasn't worth it.
Oh, okay. So we are going to do a part 3, I guess, because there's a lot left in here. I think there's probably a lot of singles though, so hopefully we can like kind of get through
We still haven't gotten to the big two.
The big two, yes.
Guesses for what the big two are down below.
Yes, comment your guesses. Yeah, so if you have thoughts on any of the songs or albums or projects that we talked about, you can comment them on our YouTube, you can comment them on the social posts, or send us emails to themusiclenspodcast@gmail.com. Our socials, because you probably need those as well, are at the Music Lens Podcast. If you were wanting to look up the posts on there to comment, or just follow us.
If you want to comment on my amazing editing skills as of late, because now we have graphics. Ooh, fancy.
Okay. And follow Alex at Alex Allegra Music and myself at Katie Fee Music on all the things. And we will see you for part 3 next week.
Bye.
Bye.